All right, morning everybody with a beautiful 11th grade A. Well, today we have a short class like always. And this one is dedicated to speaking mostly and yeah, some vocabulary. What we're going to do apart from calling the roll that we already did is to talk about the etiquette, okay? Etiquette of two countries. When we talk about etiquette is all the unspoken rules, we can say unspoken rules, okay, that people do in some countries, and that when we visit them, they are sometimes shocking for us, hmm a bit shocking to us, and and that we can see them, and also they represent part of the culture, which is really fun. Some of the words of today are breaking the rules, following the rules, to forbid something, to forbid someone to do something. Forbid means to prohibit. Okay, for example, smoking in public places is forbidden. You can't do. Okay, so forbid means no, 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 you can't. When you punish someone, you are telling them no, and you're giving them a consequence. Okay, if Molgitas, for example, doesn't connect to classes, surely the parents will punish her. No Netflix for a month, no mobile phone for 2 weeks. That's be punished. And if you're grounded, if you say, "Hey, want to go out?" No, I can't. I'm grounded. What does it mean if you are grounded? If you are grounded, "Hey, let's go and play." I can't, man. I'm grounded. What did you do? Morning.
It could be like grounded, like buried with tasks or things to do.
Oh, interesting, interesting, interesting approach. It's a bit far off. It's a bit different, but yeah, grounded, like with ground things to do. You're busy, but it's not. It's
Hi,
not.
teacher.
Hey, teacher Natalia. It's not in that direction. So I'm grounded. What did you do? I don't know. I broke a lamp, an expensive lamp from my house. Oh, dude, I'm grounded. I can't go out. I'm grounded. Are you coming to the party? No, can't. Why? I'm grounded for 2 weeks. What? What did you do? I hit my little brother. I'm grounded. This is more like an American expression of yes, castigado. That's true.
It's castigado.
Yes, Barbie. Yes. When you do something bad and they punish you, right? You are grounded. So there we have it for our first expression. Some recommendations, mostly music, car seat headrest. I think Benjamin Peter probably would like it. I think also Benjamin Towers, maybe. You kind of like this music, I guess. Uh, they're really cool. They're nice. Beastie Boys, a classic in the rap field. John Mayer, one of my favorite blues players. And this is a movie. Have you seen this movie, by the way? The Arrival. Has anyone seen this movie? Okay, it seems like you haven't. So please do me the favor during May. Watch this film. Watch this film, please. Ah, you watched it. Ah, cool. It's really, really good. Really, really good movie. Has a lot of interesting things. Interesting things. Okay. Let's continue. Today's Wednesday, 5th of May, and we are already good to start. So, first of all, to give a context to our class and talk about etiquette. Now we're gonna go to our beautiful classroom. All right, and I would like to move this question down. Okay, and what we're gonna talk is about etiquette. Okay, and we can define etiquette like underlying rules. Okay, of a country or of a community. Okay, for example, in Chile, an underlying rule is that when you visit someone's house for the first time or whatever, you always bring something. Okay, that is an underlying rule. You always bring something. I mean, maybe more in the past, maybe not now, but you always brought something, something to eat or something nice, right? Oh, te traje una cosita. Ah, yeah. Very Chilean. What we're going to do now is we're going to watch a video on the 12 things you mustn't do or you shouldn't do in Japan. And then we're going to connect this to Chile. So while you listen to the video, and while you watch the video, actually, please, we are going to comment on the things that impressed you the most from the Japanese etiquette. And then we are going to move it to Chile. What about Chilean etiquette? Alrighty, are you ready? The do's and don'ts from Japanese etiquette. Let's get Japanese better. All right. Do you know anything before we play the video about Japanese etiquette? Do you know anything at all from Japanese etiquette that maybe you can share with us? No? Benjamin Kine, you're a fan of Japanese culture? Anything?
Like maybe the way that you treat someone outside your family or your family.
How do you do that? How different is from Chile?
Yeah, because there is this thing called like humble form that you don't refer to your family like it's better than someone else, so you use a humble form.
You use a different word, right? They treat differently if people are older or younger. Ah, cool. All right, let's watch the video and then leave some comments. All right. The class is being recorded. Thank you, Mr. Kine. Let's see what we can find. This is an English person living in Japan.
Lie, I didn't know a whole lot about Japan before I got here. I knew what Pikachu was, and I'd seen The Last Samurai about 3 times, and that was probably the extent of my knowledge. I actually did most of my reading about Japanese etiquette on the horrific 12-hour flight between London and Tokyo, and I've pretty much just winged it ever since. In hindsight, there are a lot of things I know now that I would have done well to comprehend before I got here. So today, I've taken 5 years of experience in the field and compiled it into this list of 12 things not to do in Japan. So when you're on your flight here, you needn't worry about reading about cultural etiquette. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the in-flight entertainment with incredible titles to choose from, such as The Emoji Movie, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Disappointments, Ace Detective Sherlock Bones. And I think we can all agree, of those 3 movies, the most compelling would have to be Sherlock Bones, Ace Detective. Especially with that brilliant tagline, the world's first talking police dog on a mission impossible. Mission impossible. It doesn't really work, does it? At all.
Let's go.
So walking down the street whilst eating and drinking isn't illegal. You're not going to get shouted at and you're not going to get arrested by Ace Detective Sherlock Bones. But what you will get is the stare of disapproval. A lot of people don't know this one until you get here and never see anyone doing it. What you'll find is if someone wants to eat or drink something quickly outside, they'll buy at the convenience store and then eat it or drink it out the front. Same with vending machines. If they buy something from the vending machine, they'll drink it there and then next to the vending machine. The main reason is people are very conscious about keeping the streets clean here, and you don't want to ruin someone else's day by having them walk through your spilt coffee. That said, all you need to do to avoid the stare of disapproval is just stop and eat and drink whatever it is there and then. Maybe it's on a bench, maybe you're just standing at the side of the road, whatever. Just don't walk whilst eating and drinking and you'll be alright. 3 things to point out here. Number 1, never put your chopsticks upright into the rice, as this is part of a ritual conducted at funerals when offering rice to the spirits of the deceased. Similarly, number 2, never pass things from chopstick to chopstick, because again, this is done during funerals to pass the bones of cremated relatives, so that kind of imagery doesn't go down well over dinner, as you'd expect. Probably best not to conjure up imagery surrounding death before you've even had your lunch. Oh, and thirdly, don't do the rubbing of the chopsticks. You know when you open wooden chopsticks, you like to do that to get rid of the splinters, and just because it's fun. Everyone loves doing that, right? But don't do it in Japan because it's seen as rude to the owner, because you're basically saying, oh, your chopsticks are probably cheap, which, let's face it, they probably are. But in fact, they usually definitely are. Probably the greatest thing about Japan ever, and the reason that I eat out several times a week, just because I save 20% automatically. In Japan, it's believed that customer service should always be exceptional, with staff giving 120% every time. 120%? 110%? 120% would be ridiculous. But it's not necessarily rude to tip someone, it just creates this awkward situation where the worker, the staff, would feel like you're assessing their performance and they could potentially lose face. So you might think you're being nice by giving someone a tip, but you're not. You're just creating an uncomfortable situation for the worker, and they'll probably just reject your tip outright. So don't be tempted to do it. There's a real emphasis on being mindful when you're using public transport in Japan that's often completely absent in many countries. Numerous of the times that I've been riding a train in the UK and someone nearby has been screaming at their partner down the phone, and I felt like I was part of the argument, like some kind of unpleasant 4D experience. But given Japan's density, it's especially important to be mindful when you're stuffed in a train alongside fellow commuters, many of whom are sleeping as well. With that in mind, don't ever talk on your phone on the train. That's a massive, no thing to do here, and even talking loudly is looked down upon. If you're on a local train or a subway train and you get a phone call, just ignore it until you get off. And if you're on a bullet train, you can go to the little compartment in between the carriages and take your call there. I remember for the first few years that I lived here, whenever someone handed me a business card, I was utterly terrified, because until then, business cards to me had always just been a bit of paper, a bit of card with some writing on. But in Japan, they are so much more. Once you've exchanged business cards, the trick is to imagine you've just been handed the lost treasure of El Salvador or something. First, study it meticulously, the name, the job position, the details, and then either put it in your business card holder or just put it on the desk if you're at a business meeting. Just put it on the table. Never play around with business cards or put them in your back pocket, because they're seen as a physical extension of the person themselves, and you don't want to stuff somebody's physical extension down your back pocket. If you're doing business in Japan, always carry business cards. You don't want to be that awkward foreigner who stood there writing out their name and number 50 times in 1 hour on the back of a tissue. And for the record, I am usually that awkward foreigner scribbling down my details, because I do forget to bring them, and subsequently I hate myself when it happens. If you've got a runny nose, stand.
Wait. Computer go crazy. Let's go again. Don't blow your nose in public.
Standard procedure here is just to keep sniffing, or just to find a toilet or a broom cupboard to hide in. Blowing noses in public is pretty rude. Interestingly though, handkerchiefs are pretty popular here. Not in the way you would think though. People use them to wipe sweat off in the hot summer weather, or even more commonly to dry their hands in public toilets. Because surprisingly, many public toilets in Japan don't have any hand drying facilities, despite having space-age toilets that reside in the same room. It's quite a weird contrast that I don't quite understand. Physical contact in Japan isn't really a thing. You'll bow a lot, you'll nod enthusiastically daily, but occasionally you might shake hands with someone if they're a good friend or a business client that you get on well with, but generally I avoid it unless someone makes the first move. And hugging in particular doesn't go down well. It's just met with expressions of awkwardness and despair. And also amongst couples, public displays of affection are phenomenally rare here, so don't be surprised if you get the stare of disapproval if you're kissing your partner frantically in the street. And I think that it should definitely be this. If you're the sort of person who feels the need to have a debate or an argument about things or throw your opinions out there constantly, people will find you obnoxious and dislikable and probably just avoid you. Embedded heavily within the culture is this idea of keeping harmony and avoiding conflict at all costs. And it's a lot easier to do that when people aren't at each other's throats, throwing around opinions. Sometimes it can be frustrating when people are just unwilling to speak their minds or give you a clear yes or no answer. I mean, one time, one of my colleagues when I was teaching, I asked him, do you have any pets? And he said to me, maybe my cat is dead. I was like, maybe your cat is dead? What does that mean? It is dead or is it not dead? It's not Schrodinger's cat, is it? It turned out the cat was definitely dead, but he was just the sort of person that always liked to use the word maybe and just not express certainty. But if there's one reason I've never seen a fight anywhere in Japan in the last 5 years, it's probably this reason. That people are a lot more careful about expressing their opinions and holding back what they really think. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to film that one. Everyone seems to know this one already anyway. When visiting someone's house or entering a public building like a school or going to a hot spring, you take off your shoes and switch to slippers before you go in. The easiest way of knowing if you have to change your shoes is there'll be a change in elevation in the floor. So when you go in, there'll be a little stair and that's when you know. This is the one thing on the list where failing to stick to the rules will have noticeable results. A few years ago, a friend and I visited a public bathhouse in Kyoto and we went in and you're supposed to take your shoes off. For some reason he didn't, I don't know why, I don't think he noticed or saw. There was a little old woman sitting behind the entrance counter where you kind of pay, and when we walked in she saw that he still had his shoes on and she shot up with terrifying energy and ran over and grabbed him and took him to the front and was like, get your shoes off, get your shoes off. And that image has stayed burnt into my mind. This quiet little old woman suddenly becoming so alive and animated by this terrible event. And ever since then, I've never forgotten to take my shoes off when entering a building. For whatever reason, rubbish bins and trash cans are disturbingly rare in Japan. Outside of convenience stores, it can be a nightmare to find one. And the reason I put this on the list is because so many people, so many of you guys message me on Twitter saying, I'm in Tokyo and I can't find a bin, what should I do? I've wandered through Tokyo for up to 20 minutes sometimes just in search of a bin and can't find one. The streets though, despite that, are shockingly clean here because people, if they can't find a bin, they just take the rubbish home with them. It can feel like some kind of mini game sometimes, going in search for a bin, because when you do find a bin you feel a real sense of achievement. But despite that, don't be tempted to litter, just keep trying and you'll find a bin one day. Seems like a fairly obvious addition to the list, and yet in the UK we just cross the street whenever the hell we want, whenever there's an opening in traffic, as opposed to waiting for the green light, same as many countries. In Japan, however, people do not cross the road on a red light. It's incredibly rare, and it's one of the greatest ways of seeing this sense of order and obedience to the law that exists in Japan. If you stand at a roadside in Japan and there's no cars coming, you can't see any cars whatsoever, people still will not cross the road until it goes green. Over the years, of the many friends I've had come to visit me here, this is the thing that shocks them the most. The idea of not crossing the street when there's no visible cars there. The idea of abiding by a rule that doesn't seem necessary. And yet for me personally, the main reason I abide by it is after a few years of being here, you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be this stereotypical rule-breaking foreigner. And as well as that, you don't want to run the risk of getting caught out by the police. So those are two things worth taking into consideration before you dash across the seemingly empty road. And the last one, don't worry about not knowing anything about Japanese etiquette when you come to Japan. As I said earlier in this video, there aren't going to be any real consequences to not following any of these things, apart from maybe the footwear one. That's quite scary. You don't want to get dragged off by an old woman. The reason I say don't worry too much is because I find a lot of people come here and they're very nervous and very anxious about following the etiquette they don't really comprehend. And that includes even me. When I came here, I didn't know anything. And I was constantly anxious and nervous that I was making mistakes. But really, as a foreigner in Japan, you get a kind of a free pass to make mistakes. People are
Alrighty, let's go. So we've done the 12, and tell me, people, which ones are the ones that impressed you the most from Japan, from Japanese etiquette? Which of the things the man said were the most impressive for you? The funeral thing. Okay, explain a bit more. What about the funeral thing? Okay, they don't cross. They don't. What? Don't cross the street while the red light is on. That's true. We do it. We do it here. You can't leave the chopsticks standing up on the bowl. Yeah, you can't stick them on the rice. Yeah, that's true. Strange. It's really practical, but I didn't know that it was connected to the funeral. Strange. Also, you can't pass. Yeah, you can't pass food or anything. Food mostly. Food from one chopstick to another, because they mentioned that they pass the bones of their beloved ones, because in Japan, obviously, they are cremated because the land is not big and there are many people, so there's no space for cemeteries. So because they do it to pass the bones of dead relatives when they are cremated. That's scary. It's scary as hell. I usually do it here. I pass I don't know, sushi. Right? Take this one. Or yeah, most sushi. Take this one. Take that one. Okay, what else? Anything else?
The thing of blowing your nose.
Ah, okay, yeah. So you can't blow your nose in public. Yeah, thank you. What else? What else?
Drink while walking.
That's strange. You can't eat. I mean, it's not that you can't, but it's that you shouldn't. You shouldn't. No deberías. Because, okay, you shouldn't eat and drink while you walking, because you will get the, how to say, stare of disapproval. I like that. Here in Chile, some people do it as well. Okay, what about Chilean etiquette? We have like 2 minutes. What can you mention that we Chileans do, for example, that we usually do is very typical in Chile? I mentioned one is when you visit the house of someone for the first time, you should bring a gift. God damn it. Like something tiny. Food could be. Traje algo patecito. Okay. Okay. We say chao, que tiene que parar. Well, okay, we cross the street whenever and wherever we want, especially in Coquimbo. It's crazy. Yes, we do have etiquette. Yeah, we do have. For example, in Chile, you always leave a tip. You always leave a tip. When they ask you, like, you want 10% of the service? And if you say no, they look at you like with a stare of disapproval. They're like, cheap. You're cheap. Okay, so if you're cheap, to be cheap is not also barato, sino also is tacaño, tight-fisted. You're cheap or you're stingy. Stingy. Tight-fisted, ahí está. Tacaño. Sí, bueno. A ver, Chilean etiquette. Hay otro mapo. We usually say hello with a handshake or a kiss on the cheek. With a handshake or kiss on the cheek. Well, personally, I don't like the kiss on the cheek. I'd rather, give a handshake or a hug. Hey, bro, what's up? A kiss on the cheek. Nah. If the other person is sick, you get right? No, not good, man. Okay, it's too invasive. Yeah. For other countries, it's like sexy, but I don't think it's sexy at all. Okay, anything else? To unknown people. Yeah, what else?
What about the surnames? I mean, a lot of Latinos have them, but we have the two of our parents.
Surnames. Yeah. So we get the surname of our father, right?
Of our both parents.
Yeah, that's true. We are named after. Así es como se nos nombra. Named after both surnames, both parents' surnames o last names, como que. Yes. En otros países solamente, no sé, por Florencia Pasalacqua. That's it. And when you go to a country, what's your full name? Florencia Antonia Pastelacqua. And they like, what? You go 4 names? Imagine people that have 2 names. Barbara, Estela, Francisca, Araya. Buen día. Super long. Yeah, you hug in the family. In Japan, forget it. Okay, you don't hug people. Strange. Yeah, I remember we used to play a game when I lived in Australia. We had a Japanese friend called Natsue, and we used to hug her like in group, just to piss the hell out of her. She was like, "No, please no," and we, "Hey, Natsue," we hugged like 3 people. She was like, come on, stop it." Hey, and last one because you guys have to leave. You have classes now, right?
Yeah, no, we don't.
You don't? Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, that's good.
Sure, and what about while we're eating?
Yeah.
We need to put our both hands on the table.
Oh, yeah. That's an unspoken rule. That's true. While we're eating, we must put our 2 hands on the table. That's true. I remember. Yeah. Sometimes I look when you go to a restaurant and I have my hands like on my lap, en la pierna, on my lap. I said, I know, on the table.
And teacher,
Huh? What about
we
the elbow?
put
Mhm.
hi.
Teacher Natalia, you say.
We put our hands over our mouths when we yawn.
Yes. Yeah. We put our hands on our mouth when we yawn. That's a good word. Yawn. Bostezar, no? And usually your mom or your dad says, "Hey, you're yawning." And some people yawn like that. What about this one? We were talking about this one with the other kids. In Chile, for example, you shouldn't slurp while you are eating. Slurp is like, for example, you're drinking soup, or if you are eating something, you're making noises. You shouldn't, right? Your parents will say, "Hey, shut up." While in other countries, if you do it, I don't know what countries is that. If you slurp, they think it's a good manners. They say, "Oh, you like my food? That's good."
I think in Japan they
Ah. Yeah, let's find it. Let's find it. Slurping, slurping in Japan. Then you have a new word, slurping. Slurp. Ah, yeah. Slurping. 101. Tips on how to sleep with ramen. Why Japanese slurp noodles? Extremely satisfying. No way. This is just a channel of slurping. No way. It's like Goku eating. That's crazy, people. It is 5 minutes of that. Okay, so yes, in Japan, slurping is positive. Okay, well, here I should add, you shouldn't tip. Okay, shouldn't leave a tip. Japanese people think they're gonna. They mentioned a vocabulary word that I liked very much that I'm gonna write on the classroom because we're gonna keep it for the next class, which is lose face. Can you think of anything from Chile so we can finish the class? To lose face. So when you lose face, you are losing respect from other people. Okay, you're losing respect from other people. That's when you lose face. You become less respected by others. That's one of the words he said in the video. That if you tip someone in Japan, they will lose face in front of others
Standing and they're
because
kind
they
and they will
think that their service was not good, and you give them money to be better, right? Next time. Okay. Anything else before we finish? In Chile, I think there are many. Maybe a good idea it would be for you to find out. Kine, yes. Ah, yeah, you shouldn't get physical in Japan. Yeah, that's true. So you shouldn't get physical in Japan. In public, I'd say, right? For example, if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever you have, now these days, nowadays, you shouldn't, show affection in public. You shouldn't like holding hands, hugging, give me a kiss, whatever. It's not good. Okay, it's not well seen. In Chile, I think it's quite the same. If you see couples, I mean, there is like a limit, right? When you see people, eating themselves in the street, it's like, come on, this is disgusting. Get a room.
and
All right.
teacher,
Yeah.
it's kind of like rude leaving the table after eating, like immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't leave the table after eating immediately. Conversation expected. And these things are passed from our parents because they are Chilean etiquette. They say, no, stay for the conversation. Even if you're a young kid and you don't understand much of the things they're talking, you must stay. Right, kids? It was fun to see you again. I'll leave you because I have another class, and I hope you really have a good Wednesday. Enjoy. Next class, we'll continue with more stuff, okay? And some game. Okie dokie.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher. Have a great day.
You too have a great day. Enjoy the sunny day. It's beautiful outside. So enjoy.
Bye, teacher.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
teacher. Take care.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher. Take care.
Bye,
You
teacher.
too, my dear people. Take good care.
Bye.
And see you around. Bye bye, man.
Bye, teacher.
Thank you. Bye bye. I'm gonna get you present. Era Antonia Cuevas que había llegado.
Hey, teacher.
Dude, yes.
Teacher.
Antonia Cuevas, Millaray. Yes.
Teacher, by the way, do you like Tetris?
Tetris. Yeah, I like it. Tetris. Yeah, I like it. I used to play a lot when I was a kid.
Teacher,
Yeah.
do you like Tetris?
Yes, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I found like, do you know this thing Tetris 99
No.
of Nintendo Switch? Well, I found a webpage like that is very similar and free, and you can play up to 50 people, I think.
50 people.
It's
Oh,
very
send
cool.
it. Can you send it in the chat?
It's like a Tetris. Yeah. It's like a Tetris where you can, if you complete one line, you send the other one line, so you can attack the others.
Ah, sexy. Okay. Let me see. Tetris. I love
Very
games.
cool.
Yeah, we should play games, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
J-Stress. Donar ranking. Práctica. Salas. Comenzar.
Very cool.
Listo. Ahora.
Look. We are in a lobby right now. So whoever clicks comenzar and you start.
Ahí está el mago del lag.
You move with arrows, and with C you can save a piece for later.
Ay, qué perdedor. Estoy cachando. ¿Cómo la cambiada de lado? ¿Para arriba?
Up arrow.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, que dejé mucho espacio ahí.
Let me try to combo something so you can see the attacks. Look, there. I attacked you.
Oh, dude.
If you finish, I think, like 2 lines, you attack with 1 line. With 3, you attack with 2. And with 4, you attack with 4. It's very cool. It's like a battle royale Tetris.
You can play with 50 people?
Great.
Wow, man.
You can change skin also.
All right.
Look. En configurar skin, and you can change skin to something that is more appeasable for the eyes.
This one's cool. Oh, I'm shit at it. I can't see.
In configurar.
Okay, I'm gonna lose because I'm.
No, it's because I lose. Yeah.
Pantomime blocks.
No. That's the like a practice mode.
Mm.
In configurar at the right of Salas.
Yeah. Configuration skin. Yeah, that's true.
Skin.
Monochromatical, invisible. Monochromatical.
It's like one color, but.
Oh, I like this one, like on 8-bit. Perfect. Oh, dude, that's great.
Very cool.
Hey, dude, I gotta go now. I have another class.
And yeah, don't worry.
I'm gonna save this up.
See you later.
Did I save it? Orientación, no, I'm gonna play. Okay, we should play again. Right, Master? Have a great day. See ya.
Yeah.
See you again.